What's up, y'all? We're the Jump Rope Masters.
Here's a workout video from our Patreon page.
We'll put that link for you guys in the description box below. But without further ado, grab your water, grab your jump ropes, and let's get jumping, y'all. Y'all, what's up? David back.
Beck is back.
And we gonna teach y'all first official jump rope move.
Let's go.
This is the basic bounce.
If anything, this is the one move that you really need to learn because this is going to build the foundation for the rest of the moves that we learn.
And that's a good segue into what are the benefits of this move. As y'all know, we strive to educate you jump rope masters, the jump rope master community, on the, I guess you could say, benefits of jump rope.
Sounds repetitive, but it's true.
I know, but it is true. Yeah. So what is the benefits of this move? You do any move, this is, as we said, the first one. This is one that you can hit all day. This is Rebecca's specialty.
My specialty.
Actually, yeah, her go-to.
I can do it all day.
Mm-hmm.
I have workouts with just basic bounce.
Yeah, so quickness of foot, it helps with quickness, foot, lightness of foot, balance. Omnidirectional movements.
That's a fun one to say.
Yeah, I know it. And what are
It pretty much just means the ability to move around.
Yeah, so
jumping.
any move that comes next after this, yeah, up, down, forward, backwards, you know, it all stems from the foundational move, which is basic balance. You know, and as we mentioned, you know, this helps with that lightness on your toes, helps set that ground contact, that agility that is necessary. I mean, y'all have the PDF of the benefits. Hopefully you downloaded that PDF.
I'll make sure to do that.
Yeah, and check out the benefits of jump rope. You know, agility, balance, coordination. Of course, like, this is the move that sets everything else up. So you need to start with this move before you move to anything else. All right? So is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that covered it.
Without further ado, let's get into the how-to.
Hey.
All right, so Rebecca is going to be our demonstrator for this move, and I'm going to be as explanatory as possible for our blind and visually impaired viewers that is a part of our Jump Rope Master community. So forgive me, but do not forgive me for being over detailed.
And don't worry, if you have sight, you can still listen to what he says.
And see what she's doing at the same time. So yeah, I mean, but the good thing about our descriptions is you don't have to have sight in order to see figuratively or literally what's going on.
We're accessible
for everyone. Hey. But okay, without the small little flex, let's give y'all what y'all came here for.
We also give you a little bit of humor.
Yeah, I know, right? We gotta put our personalities in. But okay.
All right, basic bounce. How am I doing this?
All right, we're starting from the ground on up. So first off, we start with the feet. We're gonna use the description of a clock face. If forward towards where you're looking, we're looking towards the camera. I hope I'm looking towards the camera. Our toes are gonna be facing towards 12 o'clock. Our feet are right next to each other, about, what would you say, 3 inches apart?
Yeah, 2 to 3 inches maybe. 2
to 3 inches apart. So at least shoulder width apart, if anything. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep right there underneath that center of gravity, toes facing as forward as possible, you know, at least towards 12 o'clock. Because sometimes, you know, you get those people, me included, sometimes my toes may be pointing towards 11 and 1. You know, sometimes it may be 12 and 11 or 1 and 12, you know what I'm saying? But either way, you want your toes to be facing as forward as possible. Sometimes, you know, my heels are pointing out towards, you know, maybe even 7 and 4, you know, you're pigeon-toed.
Sometimes I'm pigeon-toed.
Yeah, so it's pigeon-toed versus duck feet. Think that, y'all. If you want, everything should be facing 12 and 6. So forward and backwards.
Make sure your feet are no further than shoulder width apart, but you can have them closer together too. They don't need to be like touching, But even just like a small, like even an inch in between your feet is perfectly fine.
What comes next is the important part. As y'all know, jump ropes help with for mobility, flexibility, agility and stuff of that nature. So if your toes are pointing out or even in, as long as you can jump, and then hopefully you start making those gradual improvements, that's what's important. We're going to keep this as low as impact as possible, which is a great segue into how high should you jump off of the mat or
and also
the
how
surface.
Are we jumping off?
Exactly. So you're jumping a 1/2 inch to 1 inch off of the ground. First and foremost, 1/2 inch.
Small little jumps.
Small jumps. We use speed ropes for a reason, because as you can see, the speed rope itself is very thin. Right now we have our wire jump rope. Another pair that we use is a PVC. Is that what it is? I guess.
Yep.
PVC piping. And so that's also another thin kind of material, and it's very durable, and it can go fast as necessary in the jump rope workouts that we have here in our course. But it doesn't take much to jump over the wire. Now, if you get into a bigger rope, of course, if you have a 1/4 pounder or a 1/2 pounder rope, work with what you have. You're gonna have to jump a little bit higher. You may jump that 1 to 2 inches off of the ground, but of course, now it's all about how you're landing and how you're pushing off, which now leads into the balls of your toes. That's what you want to stay
Or balls of
on.
your feet.
Yeah, or the balls of your feet. Actually, yeah, great point. Because of course, you say toes, people thinking, okay, I'm up tall, like I'm in high
Tippy
heels.
toes.
Yeah.
Like, nope. We're
Now-
not jumping like this.
Right now, all my blind and visually impaired peeps, I just went up like I'm doing toe raises. Like I was literally on my toes, like, and I just fell forward. Now, that's a lot what happens. If you're jumping on your toes like that, it's hard to stay balanced. You want to keep, me personally, this is how I kind of jump. I jump with my heels, like literally, you could slide a piece of paper underneath my heels, how low my heels are to the ground. What would you say you're jumping?
I might be a little bit higher than that, but I'm not on my toes. So like I said, I kind of balance on the balls of my feet with a little bit of space, like with my heels up off the ground, just to, you can slide in a few pieces of paper, but yeah.
I'm like
heels off the ground.
Mid-foot to the ball of my foot when I'm jumping. Long story short, you don't want your heel to hit the ground, because that's what's going to cause a lot of jolt, shall I say, through the bones, your shins.
That we're trying to avoid.
Yeah. Your foot, the balls of your toes, well, shall I say the light midfoot and the balls of your toe, like right there, the ball of your foot is what's going to help absorb that impact and what's going to help with that balancing that spring. So right now, I'm standing here and I'm kind of, what would you say?
Bouncing a little bit?
Bouncing a little bit up and down right here on the balls of my toes. Yeah. So this is how I'm doing this right now. Is a good way to get started. Calf raises, and then of course going down to the whole boom. Bouncing on your toes right here, lightly, and then start kind of little 1/2 inches off of the ground. All right. Now, next part is important. You want a slight little hinge in the ankle joint, because you want to push your knees ever so slightly forward. That's what's going to cause your heels to come up off of the ground. So you want that athletic stance. Think athletic stance. You don't want to be...
stance is a little wider.
Yeah.
We don't need to go that wide.
You don't want to
But
think...
an athletic stance with a narrow feet.
Not a quarter squat, more so, but just more like, okay, I'm ready, I'm ready stance, kind of ready stance. Not deep of a squat, not a quarter squat, just a slight little hinge in the knees. All right.
Slight bend in the knees, hinge in the ankle.
That's
Getting
what's
ready
gonna,
to jump.
yeah, that's what's gonna activate now that gastrocnemius, aka your calves. You're gonna use your soleus in order to help balance, which is underneath your big muscle of calf muscles. You're gonna activate those glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps, and now you're gonna use your hips, slight little hinge in the hips. Well, not sticking your butt out. You know, you don't wanna stick your rump out, but
You want to stay straight as possible.
yeah, straight as possible, because you want your back up straight, up tall. You want to think up tall, right? Head up towards the sky, straight back, straight spine. Think core tight, almost like you're planking upright. Because when the rope starts swinging around you, this rope is going to pull you left, right, frontwards, backwards, every which way.
It's very easy to fall backwards, at least for me, when I first started jumping, because I wasn't getting my core. So I'd bend or arch my back, stick my butt out, and I just fall backwards.
Yep.
So make
And
sure you keep
that's
that
what's
core
going to
tight.
bring you back on your heels a lot of the times, and you're not going to be able to jump effectively. You know, and if you're too far forward, then you're just going to, the rope is going to land too far forward in front of you at the same time, and then that's also going to be frustrating because now the rope is just slapping off of the ground, and then you're
Slapping
going to
your legs.
Yeah, slapping your legs, and then you're just going to wind up with a lot of rope, like
Not fun, don't.
yeah, exactly. Now, we already showed y'all how to measure your ropes out. So, of course, you already did that. You know your rope length. Mine is chest height. Rebecca, you know yours.
Mine's about in my armpit, I think.
Yeah, and of course, you know, we measured ours out to, you know, the level of jumping that we want to accomplish and stuff like that. You know, we mentioned that already. We don't have to repeat that. Y'all go back and check out that video if y'all want, right? But make sure you got a rope that is going to work with you, all right? Now, when it comes to, that's the upright, that's the posture from hips on down and on up, right? So now we got that. Arms. Explain the arms to them.
So, with our arms, we want to keep our elbows close by our side. We don't want to really stick it in and like make ourselves tense. Just keep them relaxed but tight in by our sides. With our hands and wrists are going to be pointing outwards at an angle. They're going to be about 45-degree angle, and this part is completely preference. Sometimes your hands can be out kind of by like say 10 and 2, or maybe 9 and 3. It's a good thing to start out at 9 and 3, but if you don't have that mobility or are able to do that, 10 and 2 is perfectly fine. And keep your shoulders back, because we got to get that back engaged.
And when she says
Shoulders,
back,
hips, and toes, shoulders, hips, and feet are all on top of each other.
yeah, now when she says back, of course, your chest is going to be out a little bit, but make sure you're keeping your shoulders back and down. You know, you want your,
So no hunching.
yeah, no hunching. Because of course, remember, if you bring your shoulders back a lot of the times, that arches your back. You want that core engaged. You want your core to stay tight. So shoulders back and down, that's going to help keep that core engaged and that core involved. Now, based on the length of your rope at the same time, you know, that is what's going to indicate if I'm going to have to bring my arms forward a little bit or if I'm going to bring my arms back a little bit. You know, there is some jump ropers, they'll jump rope not with their arms out to the side, as we're just saying, in the sense of like 9 and 3, and their elbows in tight to their body, you know, activating them lats and stuff. They may jump rope with their elbows honestly back and their arms are facing towards 11 and 1. You know, it's just all based off of their size and your style. Once you start building this jump rope mastery, you start putting your flow to it. You know what I'm saying? And then you start being like, okay, you know, I may want this kind of a rope. You know, having your arms like this at 11 and 1 with your shoulders back may be easier to do some, you know, crosses and stuff like that, just because it's like right here and you don't have to come from here to here. You know, but
Stay tuned for that. That's
yeah,
later
exactly.
on.
That's later on in the
We're just
course.
building the basics here.
Yeah.
Get the basics down first, and then we're gonna get a little fancy.
Exactly. And like we said, you want to have to get this jump rope moved down first before you move into all these other fancy moves. Right now, start with, as we said, with the rope that you have and with the length of the rope that you have, and try it out just to see where you are as far as your proficiency goes. We're going to talk about now how to start jumping and then build up on that, how many jumps to do, X, Y, and Z, and stuff like that. And yeah, let's continue on.
Let's do it. So the jump, again, we're gonna get back into that stance with our feet, ankles, knees, hips, core tight, shoulders back, back engaged, hands out by our sides. So now we gotta hold the rope, right? I just kind of have like a relaxed grip, but not too tight, with my thumb also on the handles of my jump rope. How do you hold your rope, Dave?
So I kind of hold it like a pencil, honestly. So our jump rope grips are kind of, I want to say they're thin, but there's different grips out there. It all depends on the brand of rope you have. Some ropes have bigger handles to where you can completely grip it. They call them the power handles. Our handles are more along the lines of, you can grip it pretty good, but you just wrap your fingers around it, and I put my thumb on it, and yeah, that's the ropes that we have, and they're good to handle, I guess you could say, and control like this. If you get a heavier rope, then it may get a little harder to grip, but then you get different handles. Those brands have those kind of handles for the heavier ropes and stuff like that. Y'all check out those other brands if y'all want to, but like I said, this is the rope that we're using, and this kind of like we're having right here. So
again, firm but relaxed grip. And when we jump, the rope movement and twirling is gonna all come from the wrists. Like the first jump, just to get the rope swinging, there will be a little bit more arm movement. But forearm movement. Thank you for bringing that up, because we want to, again, keep our elbows by our sides, and then it's just going to be our wrists that twirl the rope.
We've seen people, they'll move their whole shoulder around just to try to get the rope moving, and no, that's not what we want. You want the forearm to move. If you move away from your body with the rope, that's going to shorten the rope, and then that's going to lead to slappage and a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't want. So keep your elbows close to your body, and then of course use your wrist and those forearms to twirl it. You want kind of like a circular motion to get it from me. I start from behind me, so to get it from the back to the front, or you can side swing it in, but we'll get into that later.
Yep. So to start out your jumping, right, we'll remember our stance, have our hands by our sides. We can do a swing like this. Make sure that there's space.
Yeah.
That you can swing. I think you're good.
Okay.
So like a little bit more forearm movement just to swing, and you can really just swing forward and let the rope kind of hit your feet, and you can see, oh, that's where the rope's gonna land. Well, you can come back and forth, really feel how that rope is swinging.
Remember, there's timing involved here, so to get that timing down, you can always do that, where it's just like swing back, swing forward, stuff like that.
But now we've got our timing a little figured out. Now it's time to start jumping. So from this position, it's a small hop, right? We only have to do one at a time to start out. Really feel that timing, figure things out, and really keep that form, keep that core tight. Now you got one jump, you got two. Get two in a row, get three in a row.
Now when you start jumping, of course, this is what's going to indicate, okay, where are you landing? How are you landing? That's the important part. We want you to feel, how are you landing? How are you pushing off? Are you landing back on your heels? If you're landing back on your heels, that means you're leaning back. If the rope is not landing right here underneath you in front, ready for you to jump over, that means you're leaning too far forward. So make sure you make those adjustments. You know, it's okay to be doing some, I guess, RDL type of stuff where you're just like right here and then you start leaning back and stuff like that, just to see where is the rope, where's the perfect angle for you, being upright on your toes, stacked over yourself. You know, one way that you can try to figure it out too is you start going down into like a Hindu squat type of thing, you know, and seeing, okay, squat.
Are you balanced?
Yep, are you balanced?
If you are, perfect. It's where you need to be.
Now, if you can't do that, that's perfectly fine, because remember, like we said, you're building into this. You know, if you can't go all the way down and squat like that, just go down as far as you can, especially now you can see is your knees turning in or your feet wanting to turn out. You can get an indicator of, okay, where am I tight? What may happen when I start jumping? You know what I'm saying? Because like we mentioned, this rope, once it starts twirling around you, you're not going to feel much right now, but when you start twirling this rope,
That's how I do a lot of jumps, by the way.
when you start twirling that rope like that, like even me right now, just doing a few jumps like that, I could feel, okay, the rope started going to, I guess, my inside. It caught my left foot, but I was able to clear it to where I was still able to jump and then, okay, adjust. You know, you'll get more feedback once you start jumping a lot faster. But of course, you got to start out slow, you know?
All right, that's like the advanced right there. Really
So-
keep building up on your jumping, right? That 1, 2, if you mess up, that's okay. Try to get 2 again. 3,
Exactly.
4, 5. Just keep jumping, keep stringing as many as you can until you get to 10.
Yep. So, like I was about to say, that's a good segue into now. Here's how you build on top of, you know, what we're just talking about, because literally that's all you do. How Rebecca said, how you start it, and then just start out with the 1 jump, then you can go into 2 jumps, 3 jumps, and stuff like that. You know, that is how you pretty much jump rope. Basic balance. Like, it's that basic. And make sure you're not double jumping,
No double
over
jumps.
no double bouncing.
1 jump per rope twirl.
Exactly. That's one of the biggest.
Just get that 1 jump per twirl. Stay on the balls of your feet and go slow.
That is one of the biggest issues that a lot of people do when it comes to jumping, you know, because of course we have been exposed to, you know, and I'm not saying this as a bad thing, but you know, we're twirling the rope, doing double dutches, and we're doing our, you know, Miss Mary, Matt, dressed in black, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So nursery rhymes type of jumping. This is not great for what we're trying to accomplish here, which is jump rope mastery and boosting athletic abilities. You know, we're going for more. This is intense. If you're into CrossFit, if you're into weight loss, if you're an athlete trying to train for your sport, you don't want to double balance. You know what I'm saying? So
It looks simple
jump,
right now, but
yeah.
we're really building up on this.
Exactly. So work your way up to, as Rebecca mentioned, 10 jumps, you know, 20 jumps, 50 jumps, you know, workout sets of 50, 10 reps of, 10 sets of 50 jumps. That is our recommendation. Get up to at least 500 jumps. You know, you can
You can play with the speed, you can play with the intensity.
Yeah.
Try to really get that workout going.
Now, the biggest thing too is, and I would demonstrate this, as I was just mentioning, when you're jumping, you control the rope.
Speed up, slow down. You're the one using the rope. Don't
Yep.
let the rope use you.
Now, of course, go at your own speed, at your own intensity. You're going to hear us say that a lot here in our videos, as well as in our workouts, on our YouTube channel, like everywhere. That's what we say. That's what we do. You control the rope. Don't let the rope control you. It is all here in your wrist. It is here in your forearms. And then at the same time as the benefits, jump rope brings awareness. You know, me personally, jump rope can help with, yes, hand and eye coordination and hand and foot coordination, but I can't see. So this helps with awareness of your body, the proprioceptors at the same time in your feet, in your hands, in your body. So of course you can feel the rope go around you the more that you twirl the rope, and even the faster that you twirl the rope. But again, I say this with all caution. The faster you twirl the rope, the more centrifugal force goes around you. So don't speed up until you have the basic balance down, until your posture is locked in. You know,
We're all about keeping that form first.
yes, until you got that posture locked in. The speed is going to come as you get more proficient and efficient with twirling the rope. So make sure you get 10 jumps down, 20 jumps down, 50 jumps down, and then you can start working on, okay, how fast can I knock out 50 jumps? First set, second set, third set, fourth set, you know what I'm saying? You can start pushing yourself like that, seeing how fast you can do, you know, maybe 5 sets of 100. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course start working your way up to the timed workouts that we have as well. You know? And then once you get this down, you got the basic bounce down, and you have mastered this jump, you move on to the next one. Is there anything else you want to add real quick?
Just like, again, reiteration, really focus on the form. I know it's so much more fun to just go into it and get these workouts in and do all the moves. But we're building up to jump rope mastery. You're trying to become a jump rope master, so we need to take some things slow at times. Make sure that your form is down. Make sure it's correct. Make sure it's strong.
Yeah.
This is the foundation of your jump rope mastery.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's Rebecca and I, as you know, probably some of you know from our intro video, you know, and if you don't know from our intro video, I hope you watched it, you know, but we're professional athletes. She does archery professionally. I do track as well as blind soccer, and there is a such thing that we do called base training. And in base training, you know, it's a lot of volume. We're going at slower tempos. We're really focusing on form. You know, it's a method in our training where we have to actually, you could say, take a step back, slow ourselves down, build on top of, you know, what we, I guess you could say, the foundation that we set the year before or the year prior. But how we perform too a lot of the times is results of what we put in that base training. You know, that's what's going to help you get through, I guess you could say, the season and to that big tournament and that big meet a lot of the times. You know, so in this case, this move here, how well you can do this move, a basic balance is what's going to set up how efficient and proficient you can be with every other move.
And every other future workout.
Exactly. So a quick recap. What this move helps with as far as the benefits go is quickness, lightness of foot, agility, coordination, all the things that jump rope helps with. Long story short, omnidirectional movement. This is the foundational movement of every other jump rope move. Doesn't matter if you're going up, down, forward, backwards, left, right. You can even go upside down. But you want to start right here with this basic balance. You know what I'm saying? So you start here. And how you do it is from the ground up, jumping half an inch to an inch off of the ground, being all the
Balls of your feet.
heel slightly off of the ground. You can slide pieces of paper over it. I mean, underneath it, shall I say, not over it. I mean, you could jump with paper over your feet, I guess, but you know what?
No point in doing that.
Exactly. Knees slightly bent, just slightly, ever so slightly. Hips, slight little hinge as well. Upright posture. Core engaged. Elbows, tell them.
Elbows to the sides, relaxed, not tense. Hands by your sides as well with your grips in your hands. I like that word.
Yeah.
Firm.
Arms pointing at 9 and 3 if possible, you know, and remember the feet are pointing at 12 and 6. I forgot to say that, sorry for all of our visually impaired peeps. We're over here saying this and this and that. Gotta be descriptive.
Oh, you said 12.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you're twirling the ropes, as we mentioned,
Use your wrists.
Yeah, use your wrists and your forearms. We start from behind us, and then we twirl it around us. It's landing right there in front of us. At the ball, like right there in front of our feet, ready to jump over. How you can start building up is you start with 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, 4 jumps, 10 jumps, you know, and just start repping it out. Build up to sets of 50 or 100, however you want. Get up to 500 jumps. Make sure you're really in tune with how you are landing and make those adjustments.
Make sure you have mastered the basic balance before we move on.
And shoot, I mean, I don't know if there's any more to be said other than we're super humbled, and we'll say this every single time. Thank you for allowing us to take you on your jump rope journey and being a part of the Jump Rope Master community. And shoot, honestly, we'll see you in your next video. But most importantly, let's keep jumping, y'all.
Keep jumping, y'all.